What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. I've got a busted finger once again. It's something I just do to myself all the time. But let's talk about what that means for my shooting, especially defensive shooting. So like I said, I did it again. I'm always hurting myself, cutting myself, breaking something, just doing something weird. I won't go through the list, but always damaging myself. And it creates a lot of problems because a lot of times that's on my dominant side. My dominant hand, my trigger finger especially. I about cut it off last year with hedge trimmers, and this year I about busted it off doing something stupid, and I put metal on metal with my finger in between. So how do I handle using a firearm with it's actually broken, so the tip of my finger is broken. It doesn't tolerate the pressure on there. So how am I going to handle shooting this gun? Let's talk about this. It's very simple, actually. There's no special tricks. It's just elevate this finger like it is typically elevated in our carry position, and then use your middle finger. I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, it works. So I'm going to use this Springfield XDM Elite 3.8-inch 10mm, one of the favorite guns of the channel, and some of our hand loads and factory loads to prove this to you today. So first, let's go with some of these DRT terminal shocks. These are 10mm, 145 grain bullets going with a velocity of 1238 advertised. I can't remember what they did in our gel test, but we do have a test up on the channel of this ammo itself. Let's see how it performs out of this gun today with us shooting it. I'm just gonna load 5 rounds of this. So we are about 30 feet off that target. And everything's gonna go basically the same as you would normally do. You're gonna get a good master grip on the gun. You're gonna grip here just fine. You're gonna wrap that thumb around for support. If you have 2 hands to use in your specific incident, I mean, getting it out of the holster is gonna be the same. Get your grip on it the same. Bring your hand over here the same. So everything's the same, except for don't use this finger if this finger can't be used, especially if it's immobilized in something like a splint. But bring that extra finger up here. Now you're gonna have a little extra curl because it's a long finger, but extend out, keep the finger out of the way of the ejection port because you don't want to flag it up here and jam up the brass, but try to get a reference point here on the gun. I wouldn't touch it with a broken finger, but the idea is this. You might have to train for your specific situation, but at least this finger break, trigger finger break, our worst nightmare in the gun community, it's not that bad. So we went to slide lock. Let's go take a look at our target. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5. Or maybe I got close here on somewhere, but I think they're all 5 in here. So not bad. You see that you can do it. It does jar the finger a little bit at least, or a little bit, but at least you get your shots off and they're accurate enough. So it's just that simple. Now, of course, there's always the idea of just switching hands. And hey, if you're capable of switching hands and going one-handed on a gun or getting 2 hands, which is even more complicated, if you can do that and get on target, then good for you, but you better train for that also. Most people actually are very horrible at shooting one-handed. If they practice a little bit, it's not that hard. You can figure it out pretty quickly, but the thing is people don't practice things that are uncomfortable. So I definitely would be practicing for left-hand shooting, especially because this is a minor problem. People can damage their entire hand and they can't grip at all. So yeah, trading off the gun, possibility. But in the meantime, if it's something just simple like an immobilized trigger finger, like I said, one of our quick nightmares we can encounter, it's possible to do it just with this. Now let's see how it does with long guns. So I've just randomly picked an H&R 20 gauge single shot. They do have a little bit of recoil to them sometimes, even the 20 gauge, but it's even easier with a long gun because now you don't have to worry about brass ejecting or anything like that. And there's actually been shooters out there, some precision rifle shooters, that think that it's actually better sometimes to use the middle finger. I don't know about that method or not, but it actually works out very well. So get on target like normal and just remember what you're doing. That finger is going to stay up and out of the way. And it's very easy to use your middle finger. So I don't even feel that through this finger. But we even have a 20 gauge slug. So just so you know, it's not totally baby rounds. That's a Federal rifled slug, 2 3/4, 3/4 ounce. Totally possible. All right, on to the hot stuff for the 10mm pistol. Here is the 13 grains of blue dot on the 155 grain XTP, and trust me, you're gonna see this stuff rocks the gun pretty good. One of my favorite loadings for this pistol, or any 10mm. And just for reference, this break right across the tip of my bone here in the trigger finger is only 3 days old. I'm not joking about that. I'm not trying to act like a tough guy or anything, but it's really not hurting me. Trust me, a 3-day-old break doesn't feel good. It's a finger, no big deal, but still, no break feels good. So here goes the hot stuff. Got the middle finger, got the trigger finger out of the way though. And yes, you do feel it, but compensate on that by giving it a little bit of a better grip here. Slide lock, let's go take a look. So all my hits were within here. So were they perfect? No, I might have had one that actually came down here, not sure, but they all got on target enough for me, I think, at least for being hobbled in my trigger finger. Did I feel it with those loads? Absolutely. I'm not gonna act like I didn't. It still runs a shock through everything, but you can get the job done in a defensive situation. If you've hurt yourself like this, you're not gonna go out and have fun at the range anyway for a while. So like I said, this is just for the emergency situation. Don't forget, you can do this. Now, I do have to bring up an exception to this, and some people may put this in the comments to talk about using this method with revolvers. I wouldn't recommend doing that. As you can see right here where my finger is, if I were to go ahead and start trying to do this, number one, I get a terrible grip on the gun. Everything in the hand loosens up, which means things are going to be a lot more wobbly. Also, I have to put an excruciating trigger pull with a long, overextended finger in the trigger groove right there, and then that's going to create probably a dip in the gun. And also, as you can totally see, my finger is over that cylinder gap, and if my finger isn't damaged right now already, trust me, it's going to be after you pull the trigger, especially on something like a 3057 or a 44. So in my opinion, don't do this with revolvers. So I hope you found this video helpful. I thought it was worth making. It wasn't exactly fun to make, that didn't feel good, but I just wanted to let you guys know that you can do it, you can get it done, depending on the injury in your hand. Switching up sides and actually owning a holster for your offside is a very good idea. If you have your favorite carry gun, you should probably own a left-handed holster before you need it. That way, someone can help you get it on. You can shatter this hand, but someone can help you get the holster on, and at least you're locked and loaded, ready to go, and you can shoot one-handed. Therefore, you got to train one-handed, but the ability's there. Or use your regular hand if you're not damaged too badly, and then you can probably get some darn good accurate shots. With a rifle laying prone or something like that, it's really not going to affect you that much. I wouldn't go shooting some huge cartridge like 50 BMG or anything like that, but within reason, you saw with, 10mm reason, I wouldn't do it with anything really bigger than that, or it's going to hurt. But you can do it. Thank you for watching this video. Hope to see you at the next one, and until then, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting.